What's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks so much for being here, for being subscribed. If you're not, go ahead and hit that button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit that like button. It's like walking into the room and hitting that light switch. We just want to go ahead and brighten up the place. So let's get into this podversation. Now, I know Monyettashaw, she is Neyo's ex and the mother of several of his children. He's had a whole lot more since he's been with her. But yet and still, she is more known for being his ex. And she has definitely made her presence known somewhat, I should say, on The Real Housewives of Atlanta as Candy's friend on last season and this season. She's even been on the reunion, sitting on the couch as titled one of the friends of the show. So, for whatever reason, I still don't even really know the reason why, Bravo has given her some shine. But I digress. I was going to talk about this before. I said, I don't want to waste my time. But you know what? I want to talk about this because if anybody can get something from it, that is the whole point of me even discussing it. I didn't want to just talk about it for the sake of saying she shared this information, because I don't report the news. I just give my beautifully honest opinion about some of the things that I care to talk about. And honestly, I didn't really care to talk about this because I'm just not into the sexually fluid scene where people are just talking about laying it low, spreading it wide, this culture that we live in. I'm a woman of a certain age. I just celebrated a birthday last week, actually. And so I'm in my mid-40s at this point. I'm grateful to be here all of the years that I've been here. But I can say that I'm glad that I grew up in the age that I did, because a lot of the things that I see going on right now, even though back in the day when I was a young woman, I'm still a young woman, but a younger woman, we had the Foxy Browns and the Little Kims and that type of stuff. But even back then, and even the Trinas, but I wasn't really I like some of the music, but I did not carry myself that way. I wasn't into Little Kim talking about guzzling men's seed and all that other stuff. I think that's disgusting. That's my personal opinion. But now we live in a culture where that is really pretty much normalized in, I wouldn't say overall, but definitely we live in a culture now where things are way more normalized when it comes to the sexualized culture and getting your money for what you do. I could never, thank God, he just didn't put that, shall I say it? My morals are just way too expensive for me. I would struggle before I would be a hoe, or I would put myself out there for the sake of getting money. Because I just feel that for me, that's just not something that I could ever do. I know a lot of people say you never know until you're in the situation. Well, I praise God I haven't had to be in the situation. So I can say that that is not something that I would care to do. And I've been in situations where the finances were not in the best, and, you're wondering what you're going to do next. But going to do things like that was just not something that ever came to mind, because it was just like, I just can't do it. I just can't do it. But some people, especially females, for the sake of the alleged love of a man, will put their morals to the side or even lie to try to please this person. And you do these things and they will never be pleased. They will never be satisfied. So I just didn't even really want to talk about it, but I wanted to share something because Monyettashaw, she was on House of Aaron. Shout out to him. I'm a subscriber to his YouTube channel, but she was interviewed by him on his channel for his podcast. And she shared some things that honestly we could have really done without the information. One, simply because it's personal. And two, she's not even in a relationship with Neyo anymore. It's been long over. And not only that, she's since gotten married, claims to be in a very happy relationship. And so I would wonder how my now current love of my life husband would feel about me sharing that information and on a very public platform. Well, she shared some information about her and him and the reason why she called it quits. What she said she called it quits, but I don't even know if she really did. Because the things that we knew about her in terms of the relationship that she had with him was that he somewhat coerced her to have her tubes tied. And then after doing so, he dumped her. You know what I'm saying? So what really was the situation? Which was it? And yeah, it could be a multitude of things, but the way she was portraying everything to the public that she was sharing the information to, it made it seem like she was all in, but yet he wasn't. And she wanted to have more kids, but he didn't want to have more kids. He coerced her to have her tubes tied. And I guess she thought that they were on a trajectory of getting married, and it didn't happen. And he moved on. So now she's saying that she got tired of his requests and she decided to move on.
He was cheating.
He wasn't ready.
Okay.
So, yeah, we cheated together, if that makes sense. And then it just wasn't enough. And I was like, well, no, I didn't sign up to do this every day.
We cheated, so you cheated.
No, baby. I mean, we did things together. So it's not cheating if you're involved with it.
Oh.
Yeah, like the little...
Okay.
Hey, y'all. She classy, but she got the other side.
Okay.
When she want it.
A lady in the street.
Whatever you're going to be. Yeah, maybe.
And whatever in the street.
Maybe.
Wow.
Anyway, so, no, but honestly, I'm just very multifaceted. And that's where I was at that time. But it became a problem when you want that, a lot. Okay. Like, maybe I'll give you maybe twice a year, but, or
it's like
3 times. But it's like,
too much for you.
Yeah, it was too much. I'm like, if you want that, you don't want me. It was making it seem like I'm not enough. And,
wow.
And I'm like, okay, well, I grew up with a loving father, thank God, and a loving mother. So, I know my self-worth, even though we can lose it because, baby, I lost myself after, the breakup and, having kids because my parents, before she passed, they would have been married for 50 years, and that's all I saw. So that's all I wanted,
Okay, so you heard what she had to say, and she didn't say the word threesome, but if you watch the clip or if you watch the entire video, which I encourage you to, if you want to watch the entire interview, support House of Aaron's YouTube channel, but she did the gesture with her hand for the number 3. So yeah, she basically admitted that she was getting tired of doing that all the time because he was asking for it too much and she was maybe willing to give it to him maybe 2 or 3 times a year. So if you're asking for it more than a few times, then you obviously don't see me as enough. Well, the fact that he asked for it at any point in time proves that you're not enough. Any guy, because here's the thing, when you always hear about threesomes, it's usually the guy that wants you as a female and another female. The guys ain't ever asking for you with another man, okay? And so it is extremely rare for these douchebags, in my personal opinion, to say, look, I love you, but I really want something extra. You think we could bring another man in the bed, which I wouldn't want to do either. That is, to me, disgusting. And 2, I feel it is a sign that you are not enough. So the fact that it was even suggested or requested once proves that you weren't enough. And I don't believe that she was bisexual. I believe that women who say that, or like she tried to give herself the title of being multifaceted, I don't think the definition of multifaceted means that you go both ways and you're willing to be down for whatever. That's not what multifaceted really means, okay? But it's cute to try to make that term mean that for the sake of what you are describing, which was a hypersexual man who some have questioned whether he went both ways. Whether he does or not, it's his business. I don't really care. But she was never enough. She was never enough. And so for her to say that, well, yeah, she was bisexual and she was willing to do it maybe once or twice a year, but he was just asking for it too often, you subjected yourself to something that you honestly didn't deserve, but because you didn't feel that your self-worth was there, you decided to go there. And once you do it that one time, they're going to always ask for it, or not even just that. They don't even feel like they have to ask you for it. They'll just be with other people without you there. Okay. And as we can see, this man is living his life out loud right now with multiple women. I think there was a picture of him walking with 2 women. He was in the middle and he's holding hands with both of the chicks. But see, these are the types of females. I wouldn't even call them women. These are the types of females that I was describing when I began my conversation. These females who really do not have self-worth, who are willing to do whatever, and it's usually sexual, for the sake of getting money, instead of expanding your mind, continuing your education. Doesn't mean you have to go to an Ivy League college, but there are so many legitimate ways where you don't have to make all of the holes on your body sore for the sake of $1. I'm sorry. For the sake of all of that stuff, I just couldn't do it. And you live in this age now where you've got the Cardi B's and the Sukianas and these people that I don't listen to any of their music, not my style, not my thing. Listen to whatever you want to listen to. And if you feel that that is entertaining, that's you. But I don't think that there's anything entertaining about the sexy reds and the Suki with the good coochie and all this other disgusting bullcrap where these young females, not going to call them young women, these young females are making it seem like them licking a man's butt crack or booty hole and acting like that is something that females should be intrigued to do is okay. It's just actually deplorable and is absolutely disgusting, but yet and still this is the garbage that is being spewed to society. And this is definitely not a Bible channel, and I'm not here to preach to anybody, but I have my beliefs, and there are some things that I definitely do believe. And I do believe in the Bible, and I do believe that the book of Revelations is just revealing itself every single day that we live. As you see the things going on in the society, you see things going on in the political world, you see things going on in this culture of hypersexual nonsense. You can't tell me that the Bible isn't real when the Bible speaks about how we will come to a time in life where they will say that the things that are right are actually wrong, and the things that are wrong are actually right. You know, I want to read something really quick, and it's actually a scripture. It's from the book of Colossians, the 2nd chapter, and it is the 8th verse. And I think it speaks to this ridiculousness of females being okay with being hoes and saying that you could be a sugar baby or you could sleep around with older men or whoever and get your bag, get your bread, get your money. Be like the Sukianas and the sexy reds who talk about STDs like it's okay to catch them every now and then, not using protection, sleeping around, period, whether you're using protection or not is not safe. And 2, talking about eating men's butthole. And I was like, what in the world are these people doing? These are freaking animals. But the scripture says, don't let anyone capture you with empty philosophies and high-sounding nonsense that come from human thinking and from the spiritual powers of this world rather than from Christ. And that, in a nutshell, just basically says that people, humans, come up with these empty philosophies. One example is, being a hoe is okay as long as you're getting your money. Okay. An extremely empty philosophy. High sounding nonsense where you have people like Candy and Monyetta talking about, yeah, I will allow a threesome every now and then, but I'm always with my man when we do it. Like, it's high sounding nonsense that come from human thinking and the spiritual powers of this world. And we know that this world is absolutely dark. It definitely is governed by spiritual authorities, and those spiritual authorities that it's governed by is really dark. So when people talk about, well, where is God? Well, the God of this world is Satan. That's my personal belief. I believe that is the truth, not a fact. That's what I believe. So to hear someone like Monyetta talking about, well, I allowed it for, here and there a few times, but it just became too much. It's not okay to be with a male, I should say, not even a man, where it's always about sex. And they want not just you, but they want her and her and her too, along with you. And if they want her and her or her along with you, then they also want her and her and her without you. Because as we see, he got married to someone else and he treated her, I would say, worse than he treated Monyetta. Because you can't tell me that ex-wife now was not doing the threesomes and allowing things to go on, even though she tried to make herself seem like she was the better one because he picked her and actually married her. And she had lighter skin, and if you want to call it that, the good hair. So comparing herself to Monyetta, and look how he treated her. So you're not any better because he's not a better person. He is trash. He is who he is. So if the man or male, I should say, that you're with is trash, it doesn't matter who he goes to. He's going to be trash with those people because he's never doing anything to fix himself. So it's like, do these podcast couches replace the psychiatrist couch where as soon as they sit on it, they're just sharing everything, but not like it used to be where you were sharing these things with your psychiatrist in private? It was privileged information where you could trust that what you're sharing with your psychiatrist, it goes no further than this room. But now these people are sitting on these couches doing these podcast interviews, and it's being put out here on the Neighborhood Talk, the Shade Room, all of the other blogs, as well as that person's platform. And it's getting all of these views. And yeah, because it's being put out there, those of us who discuss things like this, we're going to talk about it. But it is not okay for a male to be in what is supposed to be a relationship and want to be with other females. I know a lot of people try to say monogamy is dead. Well, if it's not something that you want to live, that's fine, but don't say that it is dead. Not every person has a terrible relationship. Not every person wants to be around here screwing around, subjecting their vagina and their penis to every lump, bump, burn, and itch that is out here on the STD market for them to receive. It's absolutely ridiculous for people to live their lives this way and think that it is okay. Because them doing that, there's nothing safe about it. And, hearing females these days talk about living this sexually fluid way of allowing their man to have like what Candy just made for this movie called The Pass, where you gift your man the opportunity to be with another female. I haven't watched the movie. I might check it out just for the sake of getting a few laughs, because I've heard a few people give some reviews on it, and it is on the Peacock app, which I do have. But it's not okay. It is not okay to be in a relationship with someone. It's like, why would you as a female subject yourself to that? Because you don't hear about men giving the woman that they're with a pass, saying, you know what? I know my dick is tired and lazy, so I'm going to let you go ahead and screw some other whatever. They won't do it. They won't do it. Women have been known to forgive, not necessarily forget, but to forgive if their significant other has been unfaithful. But if they find out that that chick that they're with was unfaithful, they just can't live it down. They can't let it go. They can't forgive. They can't move on. I'm sorry, I just couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? So the double standards is absolutely unreal. And I'm not saying that it should be okay for a female to be unfaithful. It's just unreal to me that a lot of these females, they do these things there's just no care and concern for their bodies, the orifice that you have been blessed with to have children with. Some of you, you may not have kids, and that's fine. I'm not saying that you were put on this earth to have a baby, because we're not birthing creatures here to just have babies. But some of us have had the opportunity to do that. For you to subject your special place, like they used to call it when we were little girls, and you were being taught about that special place, to subject it to all of the garbage that a lot of these dudes are putting out here is just crazy to me. I don't know. The things that people subject themselves to for the sake of making someone else happy, to me, is absolutely insane. But, when I hear about things like this, it makes me think about that scene from the movie What's Love Got to Do with It? The scene where Ike tried to make Tina eat the cake and she didn't want it, and he smashed it up in her face. And when the backup dancer / friend of Tina's tried to block him, he slapped the crap out of her, and she was done at that point. And when Tina was standing there looking crazy with the cake all over her face saying, "It's okay," you know what she said? You know what? I'm just going to play it.
And I'm saying no nice.
Come on. Some of this cake. Come on, eat some cake. Eat some cake, yeah. Oh, so you done lost some motherfucking mind.
Leave her alone, Ike.
Come on. Come on, bitch. Get up. Come on, get up.
Fuck you, Ike.
I'm out of here, Ike.
Fuck you, Ike. I'm out of here. You ain't got to hit me but once. Jackie, it's all right. It's not all right to let some motherfucker pound on you. If you had any sense, you get out of here, too.
It's not all right to let some MFing dude make you feel like you are not enough. And obviously you may not be enough for that dude, but for you to subject yourself to some things for the sake of making him feel good, when it's never going to be enough. If you had any sense, you would get out of there too. But to be honest with you, it doesn't sound like she had the sense to get out of there. It sounds like he got tired and he left. So if he never left her, would she still be there for the BS? So today, after getting married a few years ago, being in what she says is a very happy marriage, now I'm happy that now she sees that there definitely is something better out there, someone better out there, because she says she's loving married life and she's enjoying who she is with him. She's seen that now this is definitely what life should be like, not me having to have sex with females. I'm not even into this, but I'm doing it to try to please him and to make him happy. It's not okay. It's not all right. If you had any sense, you would get out of there. But, unfortunately, we live in this age now where a lot of, mainly the younger ones, but a lot of these females think that this whole culture is okay. And it's a sad state to see. I mean, I don't really know what is going to be done about it. I don't know if there's going to be some self-correction that is going to be happening, but just looking to see how things are, this truly is what it looks like when we see everything going on right now. That old saying you used to hear about, the country is in a handbasket on the way to hell. This is what it looks like. I believe that this is actually what it looks like. And it's sad. So I'm just trying to live my life, be blessed and happy, and do the best I can with what I got. But to subject yourself for that, for the sake of trying to live a lifestyle or to look a certain type of way in front of other people, it's just not worth it, because it deteriorates your soul, which is your mind, your will, and your emotions. You are a spirit being and you live in a body. Your body is temporal and your spirit is eternal. You are deteriorating your soul and your body. And who knows what's going to happen with your spirit if you continue to operate that way. So we don't know if the sexy reds and the Sukis with the good coochies are going to be around in the next 10 to 20 years. But I hate to see what they're going to look like if they don't shape up and get right before it's too late. Because, my gosh, I know they have PrEP and all this other stuff out here, but there are some things that you just cannot cure or treat. So anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comment section below. Thank you so much for being here, for liking and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I just wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.